Life will not hand you comfort. It will hand you challenges, storms, and fires, not to destroy you, but to shape you. The struggle you are facing right now isn't a punishment, it's a preparation. Every tear, every rejection, every door that closed on your face was life's way of saying, you're being hardened for something greater. The diamond doesn't shine because it was protected from pressure. It shines because it survived it. And you, my friend, are not being buried, you're being planted. The very dirt that covers you will one day be the ground from which your greatness grows. When you start to understand that your pain is not your enemy, you begin to see purpose inside your pressure. Stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because when life throws you into the furnace, it's not because it hates you. It's because it knows what's inside you can handle the heat. So when the world tells you that you're finished, smile. Because they don't realize that the fire which melts others only makes you stronger. You are being hardened to difficulty. And one day, what once broke you will bow to your resilience. My friend, life is not trying to make you comfortable. It's trying to make you capable. When you understand this truth, everything about your perspective changes. Because every hardship you face isn't there to hurt you. It's there to harden you. You see, we often ask life for success, but we don't realize that success demands strength. And strength doesn't come from ease. It comes from endurance. The road to greatness will test you long before it rewards you. It will take you through nights of doubt, seasons of loss, and moments where you question if it's all worth it. But that's exactly where transformation begins. Right in the middle of your pain, you are being hardened to difficulty. That's why it hurts. That's why it's lonely. That's why people walk away. It's not punishment. It's promotion in disguise. You cannot lead nations if you haven't led yourself through storms. You cannot guide others if you've never had to navigate the dark. So life gives you lessons wrapped in trials. It gives you strength disguised as struggle. Think about this. A tree that grows in calm weather develops shallow roots. But a tree that stands through storms digs deep into the ground to survive. And when the next storm comes, it doesn't fear the wind. It stands firm because its roots know what to do. That's you. Every challenge you've faced has been teaching your soul how to stand. Don't despise the process that builds you. The process is never pleasant, but it's always purposeful. When people misunderstand you, when doors close, when plans collapse, remember, life is not breaking you, it's shaping you. You are being prepared for something your current comfort cannot carry. The truth is, difficulty is the birthplace of destiny. No one becomes extraordinary in easy times. Your greatness is revealed when the world expects you to quit, but you keep moving forward. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are proof that you survived what tried to destroy you. They are reminders that even when everything fell apart, you didn't. You might feel like you're walking through fire, but let me tell you, the fire doesn't burn the diamond, it purifies it. And one day, you will look back and realize that the pain you once cursed became the reason you found your purpose. Don't seek an easy life. Seek the strength to endure a hard one. Because life is not about avoiding the storm. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. Difficulty is not the end of your journey. It's the foundation of your growth. So when you wake up tomorrow and face another mountain, don't run from it. Climb it, because every step you take in difficulty is a declaration that you refuse to be defeated. Remember, this life is not testing your weakness. It's revealing your power. You are being hardened to difficulty. You are being molded into someone who can handle the weight of greatness. Your pain has a purpose. Your tears are watering the seeds of your destiny. One day, when you rise, the world will wonder how you did it. And you'll smile and say, life tried to break me, but it only built me. Difficulty is not an obstacle, but a tool designed to shape your strength. It's strange how we often beg for strength, yet curse the very weight that builds it. The truth is, every strong person you admire today once walked through a storm that was meant to destroy them. They didn't get stronger because life was kind. They got stronger because life was hard. The moments that tried to break them became the reason they rose. When you face difficulty, it's not life being cruel, it's life being a teacher. It's showing you that inside you, there's more than you think, more than you've ever discovered, more than you've ever believed. Think about it. When you go to the gym, you lift weights that resist you. The heavier the resistance, the greater your strength becomes. No one grows by lifting feathers. In the same way, Life will hand you weights of disappointment, weights of rejection, weights of loss, and it will watch what you do with them. Some people drop the weight and walk away, but the ones who rise, they lift it again. They push through the burn because they know that pain today builds power tomorrow. Difficulty is the gym of the soul. Every challenge, every setback, every heartbreak is a repetition that strengthens your inner muscles. Life will never give you strength as a gift. It gives you opportunities to build it. When the bills pile up, when relationships fall apart, when the door closes that you thought would open, those are not signs that life is against you. Those are moments when life whispers, "Show me what you're made of." A river doesn't carve through rock because it's powerful. It carves because it's persistent. It faces obstacles every inch of its journey, yet it keeps flowing. It doesn't argue with the stones in its path. It simply finds a way around them. That's what difficulty teaches you: persistence. It teaches you that success doesn't belong to the fastest or the smartest, but to the one who refuses to stop flowing. Think about how a diamond is made. It starts as a piece of carbon, common and overlooked, but it goes through immense heat and pressure deep within the earth. And after that suffering, it emerges as something priceless. Without the pressure, it remains ordinary. The same is true for you. The pressure you're under right now is not your punishment, it's your transformation. You are not being destroyed, you are being refined. Every time life pushes you down, it's giving you a chance to rise differently. Difficulty has a way of revealing the truth about you. It shows you who your real friends are. It shows you what really matters. It strips away the noise and leaves behind what's real. Sometimes, the greatest blessing life can give you is a challenge that forces you to grow beyond the version of yourself you were comfortable being. Remember when you were a child learning to walk? You fell again and again, but you never saw it as failure. It was part of the process. But as adults, we forget that. We fall once and call it defeat. We face rejection and call it the end. Yet, the truth hasn't changed. You're still learning to walk, just in bigger shoes. The fall is still part of the journey. The bruise is still proof that you're growing. Life will not strengthen you in comfort. Comfort is a cage dressed as safety. People stay in jobs they hate, in relationships that drain them, just because it's comfortable. But difficulty, that's where growth begins. When everything is easy, you settle. When things get hard, you stretch. That's why every successful person, has a story filled with struggle. They didn't find success. They built it with their scars. Imagine a blacksmith shaping iron. He heats it until it glows red. Then he strikes it again and again with a hammer. To an untrained eye, it looks cruel. But the blacksmith knows what he's doing. He's not destroying the metal. He's giving it form. He's making it strong enough to serve its purpose. And life does the same with you. When you're under heat, when you feel the blows of disappointment and pain, it's not cruelty, it's craftsmanship. You are being forged for something greater. Some people see difficulty and stop. Others see difficulty and grow. The difference is perception. The same fire that melts wax hardens clay. It's not about what you go through, it's about how you respond. Every difficulty carries a hidden opportunity for strength. When life gets rough, don't say, "Why me?" Say, "Try me." Because that's the moment when your true potential begins to speak. You don't discover your strength when everything is going well. You discover it when everything falls apart and you're still standing. Think of the single mother working 2 jobs but still finding time to love her children. Think of the young man who failed 100 times before his idea succeeded. Think of the person who lost everything but rebuilt from nothing. These people didn't just survive difficulty, they were hardened by it. Their strength was not inherited, it was earned in the trenches of pain. When life hits you hard, when it drains you to your bones, remember this truth: the struggle is not against you. It is molding you, shaping you, sculpting you into someone who can handle the weight of the future. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the difficulty you once cursed was the reason you became unbreakable. Life doesn't build warriors in calm seas, it builds them in storms. So when you face resistance, don't fear it. Because difficulty is not your enemy, it's the architect of your strength. Pain exposes potential. Without pressure, greatness remains hidden. Pain is one of life's greatest paradoxes. We run from it, we fear it, we curse it, yet it is the very thing that awakens our strength. The truth is, nothing valuable is ever born out of comfort. The seed has to break before it grows. The clay has to be pressed before it takes shape. And the heart has to be tested before it becomes wise. Pain is not here to destroy you. It is here to introduce you to the part of yourself you've never met before. When everything is easy, we never discover what's sleeping inside us. It's only when life squeezes us that our real essence starts to flow. Just like grapes must be crushed to make wine, you must go through pressure to release your greatness. The moments you thought would kill you are the very moments that have been quietly building your strength. Every sleepless night, every silent tear, every day you got up when you didn't feel like it, those were not wasted. They were shaping something inside you that comfort never could. Look at the butterfly. It begins as a caterpillar trapped inside a cocoon. For days it struggles to push its way out, fighting against that small shell. To an outsider, it looks painful, even cruel. But that struggle is what gives its wings the strength to fly. If someone cuts the cocoon to make it easier, the butterfly dies because it never built the muscles to lift itself. Your pain works the same way. It's building the wings of your destiny. In daily life, pain comes in many forms. Maybe it's the pain of rejection. When someone you trusted walks away and you're left questioning your worth. Maybe it's the pain of failure when your plans collapse and the dream you worked for disappears overnight. Or maybe it's the quiet pain of waiting when you've done everything right but nothing seems to move. Each of these moments feels heavy, unfair, and endless. But underneath that H, life is doing surgery on your soul. It's removing weakness and revealing strength. Pain exposes potential because it strips away illusion. It makes you see what truly matters. You start to realize that you don't need approval to move forward. You don't need applause to feel valuable. You don't need perfect conditions to act. Pain teaches you that growth doesn't need comfort. It needs courage. And courage is only born when you have something to lose, but still choose to keep going. Think about a pearl. It begins as an irritation inside an oyster. A small grain of sand gets trapped, causing discomfort. The oyster could reject it, but instead, it covers it with layers of strength until that irritation becomes a thing of beauty. Your life works the same way. The irritation you feel today, the challenge that won't go away, could be the beginning of your masterpiece. Pain is not pleasant, but it's purposeful. It is the mirror that reveals your endurance. When you lose something valuable and still find gratitude, that's potential. When you fail publicly and still rise, that's potential. When you feel broken but still choose love, that's potential. The world only sees the surface of your success, but pain knows the story beneath it. Pain is the silent architect of every victory. Some people let pain define them, while others let it refine them. The difference is perception. If you see pain as punishment, you'll hide from it. If you see it as preparation, you'll grow through it. Think of a goldsmith working with raw gold. The gold doesn't shine at first. It's dull and covered with impurities. So it must go through fire. The flames melt it, separate the dirt from the purity, and what comes out glows brighter than before. Your challenges are the fire, your tears are the heat, but the shine that follows will make it all worth it. Every time you say, I can't take this anymore, but you still do, you are discovering new potential. Every time you feel empty but still give, you are revealing your power. Every time you feel alone but refuse to quit, you are becoming someone unstoppable. Pain is not showing you what you've lost. It's showing you what you still have. Daily life is filled with people who found greatness through pain. The mother who sacrifices sleep to raise her children, yet never complains, is stronger than she realizes. The man who keeps working after losing his job, determined to rebuild, is shaping his future through his struggle. The student who fails an exam, but studies harder next time is not defeated. He's being trained for excellence. None of these people enjoy the pain, but each of them is growing from it. You never know how strong you are until being strong is your only option. You never know how much potential lives inside you until life forces you to dig deep. Sometimes the dream you're chasing will take longer than you expect. You'll question your worth, your decisions, and even your faith in yourself. But every delay is developing depth. Pressure does not mean you're losing. It means you're evolving. The rose does not grow in sunlight alone. It needs both rain and darkness to bloom. And in the same way, your potential needs both peace and pain to come alive. You can't have one without the other. Because pressure doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to reveal the part of you that the world hasn't seen yet. The part that can lead, inspire, and overcome. Pain is not a sign that you're weak. It's a sign that you're alive, growing, and becoming more than you were before. Every scar is proof that you've healed. Every tear is proof that you felt deeply. And every moment of pain is a whisper from life saying, there is more in you. Without pain, there is no progress. Without pressure, there is no power. And without struggle, there is no story worth telling. Resistance builds resilience. The harder the push, the stronger the rise. Life has a way of testing how badly you want something. It doesn't hand greatness to anyone easily. It makes you prove that you're worthy of it. Every time you face resistance, you're being invited to grow stronger. Resistance isn't there to stop you. It's there to show you how much you can handle. Just like a muscle only grows when it's challenged by weight, your spirit only expands when it meets opposition. Every push against you is secretly building you. Every no you hear, every wall that blocks your path, every obstacle that makes you tired, it's all preparing you for the heights you say you want to reach. Think about it. A kite only flies when the wind pushes against it. If there were no resistance, it would never rise. The same wind that feels like it's holding it back is actually what keeps it soaring. That's how life works too. The pressure you're feeling, the struggle that seems unbearable, is not your downfall. It's your liftoff. Resistance is not a sign that you're going the wrong way. It's proof that you're moving in the right direction. Because only things that move forward feel the wind. When you lift weights, your muscles don't grow while you're lifting. They grow while they're healing from the resistance. The tearing, the pain, the burn, those are not signs of weakness but of progress. The same applies to your life. When you're being stretched, when it feels like you can't take it anymore, that's your soul breaking its limits. You may feel weak in the moment, but later you'll realize that the weight that once felt impossible to carry is now light in your hands. Every successful person you've ever admired has faced resistance. The entrepreneur who failed 10 times before succeeding, the athlete who trained in pain when no one was watching, the student who studied through exhaustion. All of them built resilience through resistance. They didn't run from difficulty, they leaned into it. They understood that ease makes you soft, but struggle makes you solid. They discovered that strength is not born in comfort. It's forged in the moments when everything inside you wants to quit, but you keep going anyway. Resistance doesn't always come from outside forces. Sometimes it comes from within. That inner voice that tells you you're not enough, that fear that says you'll fail, that doubt that whispers you're wasting your time. Those are forms of resistance too. But here's the beauty: when you push against that inner resistance, you grow in silence. No one may see it, no one may applaud it, but you are becoming unshakable. The greatest battles are fought in the mind, and the strongest victories are won there too. Look at nature. A seed must push through layers of dirt before it reaches the sun. Imagine the resistance it faces underground, the pressure of the soil, the weight of the earth above it. Yet, it never stops pushing. It doesn't complain that it's dark or heavy. It just grows. And one day, that small seed becomes a towering tree that gives shade to others. You are that seed. Your current resistance is your soil, and every struggle you face is your chance to rise through it. Think about the mountain climber. Every step upward is harder than the last. The air gets thinner, the path steeper, and the body weaker. Yet those who keep climbing are the ones who reach the peak. The mountain doesn't move out of the way. It forces you to become stronger. And that's what resistance does. It doesn't make life easier, it makes you tougher. When you reach the summit, you don't just see the view. You realize that the climb changed you. In daily life, resistance is everywhere. Waking up early when you're tired, staying disciplined when distractions surround you, working hard when no one is watching. Those moments build resilience. It's easy to be motivated when everything is going well, but true resilience shows up when nothing seems to be working. When your plans fail, when people doubt you, when results take longer than expected. That's when resistance whispers. Let's see if you still believe. And when you push through that whisper, you rise above it. Resistance is like friction. It slows things down, but it also makes motion possible. Without friction, you couldn't walk, drive, or even hold something in your hands. Friction gives you grip, and resistance gives you strength. If everything in life came easily, you wouldn't value it. It's the fight, the effort, the persistence that make the reward meaningful. When you've pushed through nights of struggle, when you've faced rejection and kept going, when you've been laughed at but still believed, then victory tastes sweeter. Remember, Resilience isn't built overnight. It's formed through small acts of courage repeated every day. It's built when you fall 7 times but rise 8. It's built when you keep faith even when results don't show up. It's built when you're tired but choose to take one more step. Resistance teaches patience, endurance, and emotional strength, qualities that easy times can never teach. Life's resistance is your personal trainer. It's shaping your mindset, toning your willpower, and strengthening your character. The harder it pushes, the more it prepares you. And one day, you'll look back at the seasons that almost broke you and realize those were the seasons that built you. The people who reach greatness are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who faced resistance and refused to give up. Because every push, every struggle, every challenge was secretly building their rise. Challenges are not signs of weakness. They are signs that growth is near. Most people see challenges as punishment, as bad luck, as the universe turning its back on them. But that's not true. A challenge is life's way of saying, you are ready to level up. The storm doesn't come to those who are unprepared. It comes to those who have the strength to endure it. When you face a challenge, it's not because you are failing. It's because you are being prepared for something greater. The difficulty is not there to crush you. It's there to reveal what's been hidden inside you all along. When you go through a challenge, your first reaction is often fear or frustration. You ask, why me? You feel weak, you doubt yourself, you think you can't make it. But if you could see what's happening behind the scenes, you'd realize that this challenge is shaping you, building your patience, sharpening your focus, and testing your faith in yourself. A butterfly doesn't struggle inside the cocoon because it's weak. It struggles because that process is what gives it wings strong enough to fly. The same rule applies to your life. Every challenge you face is giving you the wings you'll need for the next stage of your journey. Look at how muscles grow. When you exercise, you tear the muscle fibers slightly, and when they heal, they grow back stronger. It's the small tears that create growth. Without that pain, there would be no progress. Challenges do the same thing to your character. They stretch you. They tear your limits. And when you heal, you rise stronger. That's why you should never mistake difficulty for defeat. The very fact that you are facing a challenge means you are still in the game, still moving, still becoming. In everyday life, we face challenges that test every part of us. Maybe you're struggling to build your dream and nothing seems to work. Maybe your plans are delayed, people doubt you, or opportunities slip through your hands. You start thinking that maybe you're not good enough, that maybe life is unfair. But that's not the truth. Life gives the hardest battles to those who are capable of winning them. It's not punishing you, it's proving you. Every challenge you face is a sign that you are being prepared for something that requires more strength, more wisdom, and more courage than you have right now. Think of the seed buried underground. It is covered in darkness, surrounded by dirt, and completely alone. If it could speak, it might say, why am I trapped here? Why is it so hard? But that pressure, that darkness, is what activates its growth. It breaks open, it pushes upward, and soon it becomes a tree that touches the sky. Challenges are your soil. They might feel heavy, but they are where your roots grow deeper and your purpose begins to rise. In our daily lives, challenges often come disguised as setbacks. Losing a job, facing financial struggles, dealing with failure, or going through heartbreak. These are all experiences that shake you. But if you look closely, they also shape you. They force you to dig deeper, to find parts of yourself you never knew existed. When everything is easy, you stay the same. But when life gets hard, you start evolving. The struggle forces you to learn patience, resilience, discipline, and courage, qualities that success cannot survive without. Think about the process of making gold pure. The gold is put through fire not because it's worthless, but because it's valuable. The heat burns away what doesn't belong, leaving only the pure metal behind. When life puts you through the fire, it's not rejecting you, it's refining you. The heat you feel is not punishment, it's preparation. The more intense the challenge, the greater the purity it's creating within you. When you feel overwhelmed, remember this truth. Challenges don't show up to those who are weak. They show up to those who are ready to handle more. If life trusted you with ease, it would mean you were done growing. But the fact that you are being tested means life believes there's more in you. The challenge is not breaking you. It's awakening you. It's calling out your potential, your power, your hidden strength. Imagine an athlete training for a race. The training is painful. The muscles ache. The lungs burn. The body screams to stop. But every day they show up again because they know the pain is part of progress. And when race day comes, they don't fear the distance. They've already built the endurance. Life trains you the same way. Every challenge you face is another lap in your training for greatness. Even in small daily moments, challenges appear. Waking up early when you're exhausted, showing kindness when you're angry, staying disciplined when you feel lazy. These are challenges too. They may seem small, but they shape who you become. Greatness isn't built in one big moment of success. It's built in the daily moments of resistance. Those moments when you choose to rise instead of rest, to push instead of quit, to hope instead of complain. That's where true growth happens. When you're facing a challenge, you might feel like everything is falling apart, but often it's just falling into place. The struggle is clearing space for the next version of you to emerge. You can't become who you're meant to be while holding on to who you were. The challenge is the bridge between those two versions of yourself. That's why growth always comes disguised as difficulty. Every time you overcome something, your confidence grows. The first time you fall, it hurts. The second time, it still hurts, but you understand it better. The third time, you rise faster. And soon, you realize that nothing can break you because you've learned how to bend without falling apart. Challenges give you that ability. They don't make life easier. They make you stronger. If you look back, you'll notice that your greatest lessons didn't come from easy moments. They came from the days when you cried, when you fought, when you thought you were finished, but somehow kept moving. Those days didn't weaken you. They built the foundation you're standing on right now. The presence of a challenge in your life is not a signal of weakness. It's the evidence that you're on the edge of growth. It means you're being stretched beyond your comfort zone because something greater is waiting on the other side. Comfort breeds complacency, but struggle breeds strength. When everything feels easy, we stop pushing ourselves. We settle into the rhythm of comfort, thinking we're doing well just because nothing hurts. But comfort is a slow poison. It makes you believe you're safe when you're actually stuck. Comfort whispers to you, stay here, it's warm, it's familiar. And before you realize it, years pass and you haven't moved an inch closer to the person you were meant to become. Nothing grows in comfort. Even the most beautiful flower has to break through the dirt before it blooms. Struggle, on the other hand, forces you to rise. It doesn't give you the option to stay still. It doesn't ask for your permission. It grabs you by the soul and says, move. When you're comfortable, you don't dream big, you dream safe. You choose what's certain instead of what's possible. You settle for average because it doesn't hurt. But struggle strips away your safety nets. It puts you in situations where you have to think, fight, adapt, and rise. It awakens the power inside you that comfort kept asleep. When life becomes too easy, you stop challenging yourself. But when life becomes hard, you begin to discover what you're really capable of. Think about how a baby learns to walk. It doesn't grow by staying in the mother's arms. It has to fall, stumble, cry, and get up again. Those small moments of struggle are what make its legs strong enough to stand. If you protect a child from every fall, you rob them of the strength that only struggle can teach. The same goes for you. Every fall, every failure, every setback is not meant to embarrass you. It's meant to empower you. In your daily life, comfort often disguises itself as peace. But it's not peace, it's stagnation. You stay in a job that doesn't challenge you because it feels secure. You stay around people who don't push you because they make you feel accepted. But deep down, you feel that quiet dissatisfaction, that whisper that says, there's more to you than this. That's the voice of your potential being suffocated by comfort. The reason struggle hurts so much is because it wakes that potential up. It drags it out of bed and says, it's time to work. Look at nature. Every piece of progress in nature begins with discomfort. The seed splits open in the dark soil. The chick breaks through its shell. The rainstorm crashes before the rainbow appears. Nothing valuable is born without struggle. The seed doesn't complain about the darkness because it knows that's where life begins. So why do we complain about ours? Every dark season, every struggle, every delay, it's the soil preparing your growth. Comfort makes you lazy in your purpose. It makes you start saying, I'll do it tomorrow, until tomorrow becomes next year. It makes you settle for good enough when you were born for greatness. Struggle, however, makes you move. When your back is against the wall, you don't wait, you act. That's when your creativity comes alive, your willpower ignites, your instincts sharpen. Comfort is predictable, struggle is powerful. It's the fire that transforms weakness into wisdom. Think about how a diamond is made. Under calm, it's just carbon. But under pressure, it becomes something the world treasures. Or think of steel. It's not strong when it's soft. It becomes strong after being beaten, heated, and shaped. Every time life feels like it's hitting you from all sides, it's not trying to destroy you. It's shaping you. That pain you feel when you're in the middle of a storm is not punishment. It's potential being forged into strength. Every person who achieved something great went through seasons of struggle that felt unbearable. The entrepreneur who built a business from nothing, the artist who created after endless rejection, the athlete who trained through pain, each of them faced moments when it would have been easier to quit. But they didn't. They embraced the struggle because they understood that struggle is the birthplace of strength. It's the classroom where greatness is taught. Comfort never creates leaders. It creates followers. Because comfort never demands responsibility. But struggle, that's where leaders are born. It forces you to make decisions, to take risks, to grow in ways you didn't know you could. When you struggle, you start to see life differently. You stop expecting things to be handed to you and start building them yourself. And that's when you discover your real power, the power to create, to overcome, to endure. Even in small things, you can see this truth. When you wake up early to chase your dream, instead of sleeping in, that struggle turning into strength. When you choose to say no to distractions so you can focus, that struggle shaping your discipline. When you face rejection and still show up again, that struggle teaching you resilience. These moments may seem small, but they're what make you unstoppable. The reason struggle feels painful is because it demands change, and the mind resists change. The body craves comfort, but the soul craves growth. That's why something inside you always stirs when life feels too easy. Your spirit knows it's meant to be stretched. The more resistance you face, the more alive you feel, because deep down, you know you're becoming something stronger. Comfort convinces you to stay in one place, but struggle pushes you to new heights. Every dream that ever became reality started with discomfort. The first step out of your comfort zone will always feel scary, but it's the only step that leads to growth. When you stop avoiding struggle, you start mastering life. When you stop seeking comfort, you start discovering your calling. And when you start to see struggle as your teacher instead of your enemy, you realize that every challenge is not here to hurt you. It's here to help you rise. Rejection is redirection. What leaves your life makes room for what's meant to come. Too often, when we face rejection, we see it as the universe turning its back on us. We feel unwanted, unworthy, or forgotten. But what if rejection is not the end? What if it's the beginning of something better, something that was always meant to be yours? Rejection is not the closing of doors. It's the gentle guidance of life saying, not this way. There's a better path waiting for you. Every no you receive is not a denial, it's direction. It's the universe protecting you from something that wasn't aligned with your destiny. Think about the times you wanted something so badly that you couldn't imagine your life without it. Maybe it was a relationship, a job, a dream opportunity. You prayed for it, worked for it, waited for it, and still, it slipped away. In that moment, it felt like the end of your world. You questioned everything. Your worth, your timing, your purpose. But then months or even years later, you found yourself in a situation so perfect, so right, that you realized why that rejection had to happen. Life was never punishing you. It was preparing you. It was clearing your path for something that matched your true value. Sometimes, the things we lose are not taken away. They're released because we were holding on to something that couldn't grow with us. Imagine carrying an old key and trying to open every door, only to discover that the key doesn't fit anymore. Rejection is that moment when life says, this door isn't yours. But somewhere ahead, there's a door with your name engraved on it, and it will open effortlessly when the time is right. People often mistake rejection for failure, but failure isn't falling short. It's refusing to see the redirection. Think about an artist who faces constant rejection before his masterpiece is finally recognized, or a writer whose work gets turned down dozens of times before a publisher finally says yes. Those rejections weren't setbacks, they were steps. Each no was a push toward the right audience, the right opportunity, the right alignment. You can't see the full picture while you're in the storm, but when the sky is clear, you'll understand that the storm wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to guide you in your daily life. You might face rejection in friendships, in love, in careers. Someone you care deeply about may walk away without explanation. A company you dreamed of working for may choose someone else. You might pour your heart into something only to watch it crumble. And it hurts. It truly does. But remember, rejection doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means that what you wanted wasn't good enough for the version of you that's evolving. Sometimes people walk away because they can't meet you where you're going. Sometimes jobs reject you because they'd limit your growth. Sometimes opportunities slip away because they'd make you settle for less than your true potential. Life removes what's not meant for you, not to harm you, but to create space. Imagine trying to fill a glass that's already full. You can't pour in anything new until you empty what's inside. Rejection empties your glass. It makes space for blessings you didn't even know you needed. When you're too attached to what you think should happen, you block what's meant to happen. Rejection is that moment when the universe intervenes and says, trust me, there's more. Look at every successful person and you'll see a story of rejection turned into redirection. The actor who didn't get the role that later led to a career-defining performance. The athlete who was cut from the team but came back stronger than ever. The entrepreneur whose ideas were laughed at before becoming world-changing. Every one of them faced rejection that felt like failure at the time, but in truth, it was destiny reshaping their path. What they lost wasn't a loss, it was a lesson. There are moments when rejection will make you question your worth, but never let someone's inability to see your value make you forget it exists. You're not meant for every place, every person, or every opportunity. And that's the beauty of it. Rejection reveals where you truly belong. When one door closes, it's because the energy behind it no longer serves you. Maybe that door led to comfort, not growth. Maybe it led to familiarity, not fulfillment. Life loves you too much to let you settle there. Think of relationships that ended, and at first you thought you'd never recover. Yet now, looking back, you realize that losing that person was the best thing that ever happened to you. It freed you to become someone stronger, wiser, more self-aware. Rejection in love often leads to rediscovery of self. It teaches you that your worth doesn't depend on who accepts you, but on how you accept yourself. And think of dreams that didn't work out. Maybe you didn't get that promotion, or your project failed, or you didn't reach a goal you were chasing for years. It stings. But what if that failure redirected you to something even greater? What if losing one dream opened the door to your true calling? Sometimes rejection reroutes you toward the version of yourself that's been waiting to emerge. When life says no, it's not rejection, it's protection. It's a sign that what's ahead holds more purpose, more peace, and more promise than what you were trying to cling to. Rejection is life's way of clearing the path so that your blessings don't have to compete for space. The only reason rejection hurts is because we focus on what we lost instead of what we're about to gain. When you start trusting the redirection, rejection loses its power over you. Every rejection carries a message: this wasn't meant for you, and that's okay. Because what's truly meant for you will never need to be forced, begged for, or chased. It will flow, it will fit, and it will find you when the time is right. Rejection only feels painful because it's pulling you away from comfort. But what's waiting on the other side is always growth, alignment, and peace. Storms don't last forever, but the strength they leave behind does. When you're in the middle of a storm, it feels endless. It feels like the rain will never stop, like the thunder will never quiet down, like the darkness will never lift. You wake up and it's still raining, and you start to wonder if the sun forgot about you. But every storm has an expiry date. No matter how strong the wind blows, no matter how heavy the clouds seem, eventually the storm passes. And when it does, the world looks different. It's fresher, cleaner, calmer. But more importantly, you're different too. You're stronger, wiser, tougher. You've seen what you can survive. And that knowledge changes you forever. Life's storms come in many forms. Sometimes it's a financial crisis that shakes your foundation. Sometimes it's a heartbreak that tears you apart. Sometimes it's losing someone you love or failing at something you gave your all to. And in those moments, it's so easy to believe that this pain will never end. You look around and everything feels uncertain, everything feels heavy. But even in that chaos, there's a quiet truth hiding beneath the noise. You are being strengthened. You're learning endurance. You're learning patience. You're learning that even when everything seems out of your control, you still have power over one thing: how you respond. Think of a storm that hit your life years ago. Maybe it was a betrayal that left you broken, or a failure that embarrassed you, or a season where nothing seemed to work out. At the time, it felt unbearable. But look at you now. You survived it. You grew through it. It didn't destroy you, it developed you. The same pain that once brought you to your knees is now the reason you stand taller. Storms don't just test you, they train you. They strip away illusions and force you to meet the strongest version of yourself. In daily life, everyone faces storms. The student who studies day and night but still doesn't pass the exam. The worker who gives their best yet keeps being overlooked. The single mother who holds her home together when the world seems against her. They all live through storms that few people see. But each storm is building something invisible inside them. A quiet resilience, a deeper sense of faith, a tougher spirit that doesn't crumble when life turns cold. Have you ever noticed that trees standing in the open wind develop stronger roots? The pressure of the storm forces them to dig deeper, to anchor themselves firmly in the ground. That's what storms do to you. They force your soul to find its foundation. When life shakes you, it's teaching you where your roots truly are. You discover that your strength was never in the things you lost, but in the courage that rose inside you when everything fell apart. Sometimes, storms come to remove what you didn't have the strength to let go of. You might lose friends you thought would be forever. You might lose opportunities you believed were meant for you. It hurts, but often those losses are the clearing that makes space for new growth. After the storm, you realize that not everything was meant to stay. And somehow that realization brings peace. You start valuing what truly matters: peace over perfection, growth over comfort, progress over people pleasing. When you're in the middle of a storm, it's easy to forget that pain has a purpose. It's easy to see only what you're losing, not what you're gaining. But storms refine you. They teach you humility when you think you know it all. They teach you gratitude when you've taken life for granted. They teach you to slow down and reflect when you've been running without direction. The storm shakes your plans, but it never destroys your purpose. There's a kind of strength that only hardship can create. It's not the loud, confident kind. It's quiet and unshakable. It's the strength that comes from nights spent crying and still showing up in the morning. It's the strength that comes from rejection, but still believing in your worth. It's the strength that comes from loss, but still choosing to love again. Storms don't take that from you, they carve it into you. You might be in a storm right now, confused, angry, or scared. You might not see the end. But the truth is, storms are temporary teachers. They arrive to test your patience, your faith, your endurance. And when they leave behind lessons no classroom can teach. They make you wiser about people, about priorities, about yourself. You begin to see that every setback was secretly setting you up for strength. Think about it like this: after a storm, the sky doesn't look the same. The air smells cleaner, the colors look brighter, and there's a stillness that reminds you that chaos doesn't last forever. In the same way, after your personal storm, your vision changes. You appreciate small joys. You respect peace. You love deeper. You stop chasing things that don't feed your soul. The storm doesn't just pass. It transforms you. You see, the goal of life is not to avoid storms. If you spend your life running from pain, you'll never discover your power. Storms are meant to introduce you to yourself. They are the mirrors that reveal how strong, how resilient, how capable you truly are. When you walk through the rain and still keep your head up, that's power. When everything seems to be falling apart and you still choose hope, that's strength. When people walk away and you still choose kindness, that's growth. Every storm comes with a message: you can endure more than you think you can. The thunder may scare you, but it won't destroy you. The rain may soak you, but it will cleanse you. The wind may push you, but it will also guide you. Storms don't last forever, but they leave behind something priceless. A version of you that can no longer be shaken by what once broke you. Every storm is temporary, but the strength it builds inside you becomes permanent. Your ability to endure determines your capacity to lead. Leadership is not about titles, it's about tolerance. It's about how much pressure you can take before you break, how long you can keep walking when everyone else has stopped, how deeply you can believe when everything around you screams that it's over. Endurance is the hidden measure of leadership. People think leadership is about charisma, power, and confidence. But true leadership begins in pain, in silence, in the moments when you are stretched beyond your comfort. The world doesn't follow the loudest voice. It follows the one who refuses to quit when things fall apart. Life will test how much you can take before it trusts you with more. Every great leader you admire has a story of endurance behind their success. The one who smiles in public has cried in private. The one who stands strong before others has endured storms that no one saw. Endurance builds authority because you cannot guide people through battles you've never fought. When you've been broken and rebuilt, you carry a strength that words can't teach. Think of daily life. Imagine a young teacher who works day after day with students who seem uninterested, who struggles to manage their energy, yet shows up every morning with patience and love. She doesn't realize it, but every day she endures, she becomes a leader. Her patience becomes influence. Her consistency becomes strength. Or think of the father who works long hours, sacrifices sleep, faces financial pressure, yet never lets his family see him lose hope. He endures silently, and in doing so, he becomes the pillar his family leans on. That's leadership, not in speeches, but in sacrifice. Every person who leads others must first learn to lead themselves through pain. Endurance teaches self-control. When you're under pressure, you discover what kind of person you are. Do you crumble or do you adapt? Do you give up or do you grow? Endurance isn't glamorous, but it's sacred. It's what turns ordinary people into extraordinary examples. People follow those who stay standing in the storm, not those who run from it. Because endurance creates credibility. When you've suffered and survived, others know your strength is real. In your career, in your relationships, in your purpose, endurance is the difference between those who start strong and those who finish strong. Many people begin with excitement but fade when things get hard. Only those who can endure the silence, the failure, the loneliness rise to true leadership. The road to leadership is paved with long nights, unanswered questions, and invisible progress. It's when you keep showing up even when no one is clapping. It's when you keep believing even when no one understands. Endurance is not about ignoring pain. It's about trusting that pain has purpose. A true leader is someone who knows how to stand when everything collapses. Endurance gives you emotional stability. It keeps you calm when others panic, focused when others give up. Because you've been through worse, you know this too shall pass. People look to leaders for strength, not perfection. And strength only comes from what you've survived. You can't inspire others through comfort. You inspire them through your scars. Consider an athlete in training. The body doesn't grow stronger from comfort. It grows from resistance. When the muscles are pushed to their limits, they tear, they ache. But through rest and recovery, they rebuild stronger. That's endurance. That's leadership in motion. Every challenge stretches your character. Every delay strengthens your patience. Every failure polishes your humility. Endurance transforms pain into preparation. In daily struggles, endurance is the quiet force behind every victory. Think about the single mother who wakes up before dawn, works 2 jobs, and still makes time to help her children with homework. She's not leading a nation, but she's leading her home. Her endurance is her crown. Her strength is her legacy. Or the small business owner who faces loss after loss, but refuses to close the doors because he believes in his dream. He's leading through perseverance. His story becomes proof that resilience builds empires. Endurance is not a gift, it's a choice. Every time you decide to keep going, even when your mind says stop, you're building leadership muscle. When you choose not to complain, not to compare, not to quit, you rise. The world watches how you handle pressure more than how you celebrate victory. Because endurance reveals authenticity. It shows whether your commitment is rooted in passion or in convenience. Some people want to lead but avoid difficulty. They want influence without endurance. But life doesn't work that way. If you can't handle criticism, how will you handle crowds? If you can't manage failure, how will you manage success? Leadership is not about escaping pain. It's about expanding your capacity to handle it. Every obstacle is a training ground for leadership. Every delay is discipline in disguise. Every hardship is the hammer shaping your destiny. When people see someone who endures, they see hope. They see what's possible. Leadership is contagious, not because of power, but because of perseverance. When you endure, you give permission for others to endure too. Your consistency becomes a light for those lost in their own darkness. Your refusal to quit whispers to others, if they can survive this, so can I. Think of history's great builders, creators, and dreamers. None of them escaped pain. They endured rejection, criticism, failure, misunderstanding, but they kept moving. Their endurance expanded their capacity. The longer they stayed in the race, the clearer their purpose became. Endurance teaches timing. It helps you understand that not everything happens when you want it to, but everything happens when you're ready for it. In the small moments of your life, when you choose patience instead of panic, effort instead of excuses, peace instead of pressure, you are proving your ability to lead. Endurance builds wisdom. It gives you eyes to see beyond the problem, to recognize the opportunity inside the struggle. And once you master endurance, you no longer fear challenges. You welcome them because you know that every time you endure and you evolve. The weight of leadership is heavy, but endurance builds the shoulders that can carry it. Every tear you've shed, every delay you've endured, every betrayal you've forgiven, they're all shaping you into someone who can handle more. Leadership doesn't require you to be the strongest. It requires you to last the longest. When others give up, you stay. When others doubt, you believe. When others fall apart, you stand still. Endurance doesn't make you immune to pain. It makes you unstoppable in spite of it. Every delay, every detour, and every disappointment is molding your destiny. Life doesn't always move in straight lines. Sometimes what you thought would take 1 year takes 5. Sometimes the plan that looked perfect falls apart right before your eyes. Sometimes you do everything right and it still doesn't work out. And in those moments, it's easy to believe that life is unfair, that maybe you missed your chance, that maybe destiny forgot about you. But the truth is, destiny doesn't run on your schedule. It runs on your development. What feels like delay is often divine design, shaping your character, building your patience, and preparing you for the weight of what you've been asking for. You see, the delay is not denial, it's direction. Life is not holding you back. It's holding you together until you're ready. Sometimes you think you're waiting on life, but life is actually waiting on you. The delay is your training ground. It's in the waiting that your roots grow deep. Because if you get the blessing too soon, you might not have the strength to hold it. Success without stability is destruction. And that's why life slows you down, not to punish you, but to protect you from becoming a version of yourself that can't handle what you prayed for. Think about how a seed works. When you plant it, it disappears under the soil. You can't see it, you can't feel it, and sometimes it seems like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, that seed is growing, stretching, pushing, forming. One day, it breaks through the ground, and when it finally rises, everyone sees it. But you know it didn't happen overnight. Your dreams are the same. They need a season of silence to grow roots strong enough to stand tall. That season is your delay. The detours are another story. Life rarely takes you to your destination in a straight line. You might plan to go from point A to point B, but life will send you through C, D, and E first. You'll meet people who change you, face obstacles that test you, and take turns that don't make sense. But every detour has a purpose. Sometimes the long way around is the only way to prepare you for what's ahead. Imagine a young driver learning to handle a car. They don't start on the highway, they practice on the back roads first. Life does the same thing with you. It sends you through side paths, teaching you lessons, building your endurance, so that when you finally reach the fast lane, you're ready to drive at full speed without crashing. In daily life, these detours show up everywhere. Maybe you lost a job you thought was your dream, only to later discover a passion you never knew existed. Maybe you planned to marry someone and it didn't work out, but that heartbreak led you to a version of yourself that knows what real love feels like. Maybe you started a business and it failed, but that failure taught you resilience, strategy, and humility, the very ingredients that will make your next success unstoppable. Detours are not dead ends, they are divine redirections. Then come the disappointments, the hardest part of all. Those moments when life hits you with something you didn't see coming. When someone betrays you, when your plans collapse, when your best effort still isn't enough. It hurts deeply because disappointment shatters the picture you painted in your mind. But what if that picture was too small for your destiny? Sometimes, what breaks your heart is the very thing that clears the path to your real purpose. Disappointment doesn't mean you failed. It means life is rearranging your priorities. It's removing what you thought you wanted to make room for what you truly need. Think of a sculptor working with stone. Every strike of the hammer seems destructive. From the outside, it looks like he's breaking the rock apart. But he's not destroying it, he's revealing the masterpiece within. The same is true for your life. The delays, the detours, the disappointments, they are the strikes that shape you. Each one removes what doesn't belong. Each one reveals something deeper inside you, something stronger, something purer. Remember the times in your life when something didn't go your way, and later you realized it was the best thing that ever happened. That rejection letter that forced you to take a different path. That relationship ending that helped you find self-worth. That failure that led to your breakthrough. It all connects eventually. Every setback was secretly setting you up for strength. The pieces never make sense while you're in the storm, but one day you look back and realize that every step, even the painful ones, was leading you exactly where you needed to go. People often say, "Why is this happening to me?" But the truth is, it's happening for you. The delays teach you patience. The detours teach you flexibility. The disappointments teach you gratitude. Life uses these experiences to refine your vision and toughen your heart. When you learn to see them not as obstacles, but as opportunities, everything changes. You stop rushing the process and you start respecting it. Because destiny doesn't just want you to arrive. It wants you to be ready when you do. Look around you. Every person who achieved greatness went through seasons of waiting, confusion, and disappointment. The artist whose work was rejected before becoming world famous. The entrepreneur who failed multiple times before success. The leader who was misunderstood before being respected. None of them skipped the process. Because destiny is not built in comfort. It's built in chaos. So when life delays you, it's developing you. When it detours you, it's directing you. When it disappoints you, it's defining you. Every moment you thought was wasted was working for your good. The road may twist and turn, but every curve carries meaning. Patience is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's knowing that life's timing is perfect, even when it feels painful. Your path may not look like you planned, but every delay, every detour, and every disappointment is molding your destiny. Life doesn't test the weak, it prepares the willing. Life isn't cruel, it's a teacher. The challenges you face aren't designed to break you, they're designed to shape you. Every time life puts you in an uncomfortable place, it's because something within you needs to grow. You don't develop strength in comfort, you develop strength in struggle. Think about a seed buried in the dark soil. It must break apart before it can rise into the light. Without that pressure, without that darkness, it would never grow. That's you. Life is not against you, it's preparing you. When everything feels heavy, it's not because you're weak, it's because you're being built. Every champion you've ever admired was once crushed, was once doubted, was once tested by life itself. Life doesn't test the weak because the weak aren't ready for transformation. It's the willing, the ones who show up, who say, "I don't understand why this is happening, but I'll keep going." Those are the ones life molds into greatness. When you say you want success, when you pray for strength, when you wish for purpose, life doesn't hand it to you wrapped in gold. It sends you storms, obstacles, delays, rejection, betrayal, and disappointment. Because life knows that diamonds aren't made in sunlight, they're forged under pressure. Think of the gym. You don't grow muscle by sitting on the couch. You grow by putting your body under tension, by lifting what feels too heavy. Your muscles tear, they rebuild stronger. Life works the same way. Every disappointment tears you a little. Every loss strains you a little. But when you heal, you come back with more endurance, more clarity, more fire. That's why you can't run from pain, because pain is the proof that you're being prepared. Look at the people who quit too early. They wanted comfort more than growth. They wanted the reward without the refinement. But life doesn't prepare the ones who seek the easy way. It prepares the ones who are willing to go through the process even when it hurts. If you want to fly, you've got to trust the breaking of the cocoon. If you want to walk through fire, you've got to be ready to feel the heat. Think about a soldier in training. He's pushed to exhaustion, shouted at, stripped of his comfort, tested in darkness and pain. Not because his instructor hates him, but because the instructor knows the battlefield will not show mercy. Life is your instructor. It's not punishing you. It's preparing you for the war that comes with your purpose. When life gets hard, it's not a sign that you've lost. It's a sign that you're being refined. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe someone walked out on you. Maybe your dream seems farther now than when you started. You feel crushed, confused, like everything is falling apart. But what if it's falling into place? What if this struggle is not a setback, but a setup? What if life is pulling you back only to launch you forward? The bow must bend before the arrow flies. The pain you feel today is preparing the strength you'll need tomorrow. You see, the weak collapse under pressure because they resist the process. They see hardship as punishment, but the willing embrace it as preparation. The weak say, "Why me?" The willing say, "Try me." That's the difference. You can't be molded into something great if you're afraid of being pressed. You can't walk into your destiny with untested character. Life must test you to trust you. When you go through a storm, don't curse the rain. Learn how to dance in it. When people betray you, don't let it make you bitter. Let it make you better. When you're overlooked, don't see rejection, see redirection. Sometimes life removes what wants so it can give you what you need. Sometimes it shakes your world not to destroy you, but to wake you. Look around. The strongest people you know didn't have easy journeys. They were hardened by difficulty. They were refined by pain. They were willing to keep walking when others stopped. And that's why life trusted them with greater responsibility. Maybe you're in your hardest season right now. Maybe you feel like you can't take another hit. But remember this, life doesn't test the weak. It prepares the willing. If you're being tested, it's because life sees something in you that you can't yet see in yourself. Every difficulty is a declaration that you are being prepared for something greater than your current level. So don't run from the fire. Walk through it with your head held high. Because one day, when you look back, you'll realize the fire didn't burn you, it built you. The weight didn't crush you, it carved you. And the pain didn't end you, it introduced you to your power. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Life is hardening you, shaping you, strengthening you for the moment when your destiny will call your name. Every season of your struggle has been a secret classroom where life has been teaching you lessons only pain could reveal. You might have thought you were being buried, but you were being planted. Every tear watered the soil of your destiny. Every loss loosened your attachment to what was never meant for you. And every delay built the discipline you needed for the doors you are about to walk through. You are not the same person who started this journey. Your scars have become symbols of your survival. Your wounds have turned into wisdom, and your pain has evolved into power. Life never gives the crown to the comfortable. The crown is reserved for those who refuse to bow to defeat, for those who chose faith over fear, growth over comfort, and courage over excuses. Remember, pressure is not your enemy, it's your sculptor. Fire doesn't destroy gold, it reveals it. The heat you're feeling right now is not to consume you, but to refine you. You're not losing, you're transforming. You're not breaking down, you're breaking through. There comes a moment when you have to stop asking why it's hard and start declaring that you are harder. Because the truth is, you were never meant to be ordinary. Ordinary people quit when life pushes them, but extraordinary people rise. Ordinary people run from storms, but extraordinary people walk straight into them and come out purified. Life didn't choose you to have it easy. It chose you because you have something within you that can't be destroyed. Look at the heroes who changed the world. None of them came from comfort. They all walked through shadows, rejection, and pain. They were laughed at, betrayed, doubted, and broken, but they didn't quit. They learned that the obstacle is the path. They learned that adversity doesn't block destiny, it builds it. And that's what life is doing with you. The more you resist the process, the longer it takes. But the moment you accept that the storm is part of your story, you begin to rise above it. You have walked through nights that almost swallowed you, but you're still standing. You've faced people who counted you out, but here you are, still breathing, still fighting, still believing. That's not weakness, that's evidence of purpose. If life wanted to break you, it would have done it by now. The reason you're still here is because there's still something powerful left for you to do. You were not built to bend permanently. You might bend, but you won't break. You might cry, but you won't collapse. You might stumble, but you'll stand again stronger than ever before. When you feel like quitting, remind yourself why you started. When you feel like you can't go on, remember that every great victory begins with a battle that almost broke the warrior. When you think you've lost everything, understand that maybe life is stripping away what no longer serves you so it can make room for something greater. Sometimes losing is the only way to win. Sometimes breaking is the only way to rebuild stronger. You have survived everything that was meant to destroy you. The same power that carried you through your past will carry you into your future. You don't need to understand every chapter. You just need to trust the author. You're not defined by what happened to you. You're defined by how you rose from it. Pain may visit, but it does not own you. Fear may whisper, but it does not control you. Doubt may knock, but it does not get to stay. You've been through fire, and yet here you stand glowing. You've been through storms, and yet your roots held firm. You've been through loss, and yet your heart still hopes. That is strength. That is resilience. That is purpose wrapped in pain, beauty born from breaking. And one day, you'll look back and thank the moments that tested you because they made you who you are. So walk into your tomorrow with your head high and your spirit unshaken. Let every scar remind you of what you've conquered. Let every disappointment remind you that you didn't come this far to stop now. The pain you feel today will become the power you speak with tomorrow. The tears you cry today will become the testimony that strengthens others. You're being prepared for a level that demands a stronger version of you. And that version is being born right now, in the middle of your hardship. Don't fear the weight you carry. It's the proof that life trusts you. Mountains don't grow flowers at their peak. They grow strength on the climb. And the climb is what shapes your greatness. When life gets harder, remind yourself that you are being sharpened for your purpose. Diamonds are made under pressure. Warriors are made in war. Legends are made in pain. This is your refining season. This is the moment when your heart is learning endurance, when your mind is learning patience, and your soul is learning faith. The pain is temporary, but the strength you're gaining will last forever. Remember, life doesn't test the weak, it prepares the willing. You've been chosen not because you're fragile, but because you're strong enough to handle what others can't. So don't shrink. Don't give up. Don't let fear convince you that the story ends here. Keep walking through the fire until the flames bow before your courage. Keep climbing the mountain until the view takes your breath away. Keep believing even when everything in you screams that it's over, because that's the moment just before the breakthrough. One day, you will tell the story of how you survived the storm, and others will use your strength as their map. One day, people will look at you and see the living proof that difficulty doesn't destroy destiny, it defines it. Your pain is your passport to purpose. Your hardship is your initiation into greatness. Life is not punishing you, it's preparing you for the weight of what's coming. And when that moment comes, when everything finally makes sense, you'll understand that every tear, every trial, every lonely night was necessary. Not to break you, but to build you into the person you were always meant to become. Because you were never just surviving difficulty. You were being hardened for destiny.